Good morning and welcome to Virtual Path Day. Today we highlight business, economics and data analysis, and health administration. This session is URI transfer for business, economics, and data analysis. I'd like to introduce and turn it over to Victor Silva from URI.
Hi, Jessica. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. All right, so folks, thank you so much for joining us. I'm very excited to present the options here at the university. I'm going to share my screen, so give me one moment while I pull that up. And I'm going to share the screen. You won't see the presentation just yet, but it should be coming up. And Jessica, let me know if you can give me a thumbs up that you can see it. I'd appreciate it. All right, great. So again, thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it. You know, being in Rhode Island and you know, probably have obviously you probably have heard about the University of Rhode Island, and now you have that interest. So you're moving through your pathway, and how do we get you here, and what are your options when you actually enroll? So we'll start off with some basic information about the university. And again, I am the transfer counselor, so I'll be the one assisting you through the process when you're actually ready to apply to the university. So at any point, and I'll share some more information too about scheduling one-on-one appointments with me, discussing your path, you know, asking about classes to take potentially. You know, I'm here for you in that regard. So, you know, it's never too early to start making that connection with us. This way, you know, it's just your transition is as smooth as it could possibly be. So our campus facts, located in Southern Rhode Island. If you're familiar with the campus, maybe, you know, some of you folks have actually been on the campus before, which is great. And I think that's a big part of it, being able to kind of see it, feel it, touch it, you know, and, you know, when you're evaluating those options for you in your next step here, you know, because CCRI is your springboard to the next step of your education, you know, where you're really going to feel at home. And I hope that would be, you know, at the University of Rhode Island. So our campus facts here, you know, we're located about 10 to 15 minutes away from the beaches. We were voted as one of the 30 most beautiful coastal college campuses. Driving distance, obviously, to Providence, Newport, Boston, and New York. We do have the train station nearby as well in Kingston. You know, if that were an option and you were on campus and you wanted to get around. We're considered a medium-sized university at close to 15,000 students. You'll see there undergraduate students, and then another 2,000 at the graduate level. So if that's of interest to you too, you know, if your degree within health sciences is lending itself to additional education, you'll probably find those opportunities with us. So it's something you can actually stay on with us for. We are Rhode Island's flagship public research university, and something we're very proud of, that we have all of these resources that we can provide to the students to have practical applications in their field. So research within these health studies programs, being able to network with faculty and also participate in some of their research. So you get that hands-on experience outside of an internship that you might be pursuing at the university as well. So I mentioned in our size, you know, being in Rhode Island and being the flagship university, we obviously have a good amount of Rhode Islanders attending URI. So it's about 53% in-state. We have 47 out-of-state and international students. And out of that, you know, that 47%, we're represented with 48 states in over 76 nations. So it's a very diverse community, which is fantastic, because that kind of boosts your academic experience. And what I mean by that is, you know, if we're all from the same place, we kind of all have the same perspective, because we know what our life is, you know, as we see it in the day-to-day, you know, being Rhode Islanders, right? But when you bring folks from other countries, you might have a student from Indonesia in your class, or a student from California, and you're talking about these different health issues, you know, or, you know, these research topics you might be covering. They bring in different perspectives because they are from different places. They might have experienced it differently, you know, and different things affect different areas of the country and the world. So having that dialogue, you know, being able to share those experiences and kind of expand those conversations that you have to provide additional perspective, which I think is great. 25% of our incoming class identifies as students of color. We have a student to faculty ratio of 16:1. 85% of our faculty have doctoral terminal degrees, which is great, meaning they're experts in their field, right? They've studied as much as they can. They continue on for advanced degrees to become experts, and, you know, and as part of that, participating in research, being published. So this is world-class faculty that you'd have access to. And 76% of our classes have fewer than 30 students. And I think that's great to highlight because I mentioned we had close to 15,000 undergraduate students. I don't want you to feel that you're going to lose that familiarity that you might have and experienced at the Community College of Rhode Island. So you will have most of those smaller classes, which is great, especially when you get into your higher level major related courses. So you maintain that familiarity with your classmates, but also your faculty and your resources. And those resources are advisors assigned to you, similar to what you might have at the Community College of Rhode Island, to assist you with scheduling and other additional opportunities outside of the classroom. How do you build those into your schedule so you have these people that are there to navigate that process with you? I'm with you through the admissions process, but once you enroll, you have additional support, again, academic and then personal. Housing and residential life. So while you might be from Rhode Island, we still have a significant amount of students that are interested in living on campus. And that is something that you can absolutely do as a transfer student and as a Rhode Islander. So you're not limited to commuting. If you didn't want to live on campus, also not required. And we have a good amount of students that live off campus, what we call down the line near the beaches. So in, Wakefield, South Kingstown, Charlestown even. So all those options are available to you as a transfer student. Academics. So we have 8 degree granting colleges with over 90 majors. Specifically, most of the programs that you're probably interested in are within the College of Health Sciences. Some might go into the College of Environment and Life Sciences as well. And we'll talk about those a little bit more specifically at the end. I'm going to pull up some resources from our website. But the reason I bring this up is that you might have a particular interest in, let's say it's biological sciences or human development and family studies, but you also have an interest in history or English or in economics. Most of our majors can actually be turned into a minor. So you can, or even double major, right? So you have that opportunity to build your academic curriculum and your academic resume the way you would like to. So you're not just limited to your specific degree, even as a transfer student, okay? And that's where your advisors will assist you too, to make sure that you're taking the classes that you need to graduate in a timely manner, right, on your path that you would like to, but also filling in those academic interests of yours, because there's academic interests, and then there's also, I would say, extracurricular interests that you would have an opportunity to participate in, and I will talk about those now. So even though you're a transfer student, you still have every opportunity available to you that an incoming student would. So even though you might be transferring with 60 credits or an associate's degree, it doesn't mean you can't intern. It doesn't mean you can't study abroad. And we encourage you to do that. That's a huge part of your experience here on campus. And we want you to have those experiences. So we talked about research already, but our internships, we have over 6,000 students that engage in internships annually, and folks coming on campus to recruit our students to intern. They want URI students. Study abroad, if that was of interest to you, I definitely recommend it. It's a great experience. Kind of kidding aside, I told myself when I was a student, you know what, I'm going to travel the world after I graduate. I'm going to go backpacking and this and that. And, before I know it, I'm 35 with a 3-year-old. And, there's a lot of the world is still left undiscovered for me. So if you can do it within your academic career, definitely recommend it. You'll work with your advisor to make sure that you're leaving the space in your curriculum to be able to take those classes abroad and receive credit for it. Leadership, we have a Center for Leadership Studies. We have a leadership minor. You can participate in the honors program. And I think a big thing is that our students are very successful. 90% of our graduates are employed or enrolled in graduate school within 6 months of graduation. Why do we bring up the graduate portion? Because a lot of times students need to continue on to advanced degrees to go into their fields. So either employed in their field or continuing their education to go on for their employment in the field that they're interested in participating in. School spirit. So we are an NCAA Division I school. We compete in the Atlantic 10 Conference, so very exciting. We always look forward to our basketball games, especially when PC comes into town. We have a healthy rivalry with them, but fantastic program. We have clubs and intramurals if students are interested in participating. Events at the Ryan Center, and one of our biggest is Alumni and Family Weekend, where we get to bring current students, former students, and their families together to show that, URI pride, that Rhody pride, and have different events on campus, for the families and for alumni, including football games and those kinds of things. So there's definitely a school spirit. There's a passion. You'll see it walking around campus. Most students have URI gear on when they're walking through. So to see that is refreshing. Everyone is part of the culture and, are excited about being part of this community. Outside of the sports and involvement that way, we do have clubs and organizations on campus as well. So if you are interested in a particular club organization, we offer more than 300. So if you were interested in Amnesty International or band, a jazz ensemble, acting, theater, you name it, it's available. If you can't find it, you can start it. So when you're looking at all of this, you know what, if you have a special interest, if it's service-based, professionally focused, you can work with Student Senate to propose your own club and organization, because if you are interested in it and it isn't available, I'm pretty sure there's probably some like-minded folks out there too that want to have that opportunity. So you can put that out there and have your own club and kind of create your own lasting legacy on campus, which is great. We have different centers on campus too for student support. We have a multicultural student services center, a gender and sexuality center, women's center, our talent development program, and we also have religious life. All right, how to apply. So I think this is the biggest question that we have from our transfer students. How do I go about this process? So thankfully, you're in a great situation currently at the Community College of Rhode Island with great resources, advisors to help you, but the transfer process overall is pretty user-friendly. Now, we do have some competitive program requirements for a College of Business, and I'll show you that in a moment. But in general, how to apply to the university. We have our Transfer Common application that you would complete, and that's on the website, the uri.edu, under the transfer admissions page. If you do not have an associate's degree, so less than 60 credits without an associate's degree, you do have to submit your high school transcript. If you continue on through your pathway, you're going to graduate with your associate's degree, you would only need your CCRI transcript, and other colleges attended potentially. We do have an application fee. I think the second biggest question what students will ask is, how do my credits transfer? So I'm going to show you a resource that you have available to you. It's on our website, so you can have an idea of how the classes I'm taking now at CCRI transfer over to my program at URI. So we do that after a student's been accepted, because it actually goes out to the faculty. But what we have is a great articulation agreement with the Community College of Rhode Island. So you can see all the classes that we've evaluated in advance and their equivalency at URI and how we can put them together towards your major. And then financial aid, we do offer need-based financial.
Hey, Victor.
Yes.
Oh, okay. There it goes. It's back to that.
Right.
Yep, go ahead.
It's working?
Yeah, there was just a little bit of a lag.
Got it.
No problem.
So, financial aid. So we do offer need-based financial aid, and here's an estimated cost of attendance for our Rhode Island residents. We'll be looking on this left-hand side here. So we have our tuition listed first, average room and board if you'd be living on campus. If you're not, you'd actually subtract that number from the total. We do have, as far as a recommended filing date for students interested in the fall, as March 1st. So make sure you complete your FAFSA. If you've been doing that for CCRI, you can go back in, add us to the FAFSA, especially if you're graduating this coming May. And then we have our enrollment and housing deposit. So essentially that's a small part of your tuition that you would be giving to the university to ensure and reserve your spot in the incoming class. So again, if you'll be living on campus or if you're not living on campus, either way, there is the deposit that you would submit hopefully by May 1st. The transfer deadline is June 1st. So you could definitely submit your enrollment deposit prior to, and we typically like to have as many students submit their deposits by May 1st, but absolutely for transfer students as well, June 1st would apply. And merit scholarships. So there might be a little bit of a lag, but we do offer merit-based scholarships. So off of your success at CCRI. And what we'll do is, in the application process, when I'm reviewing your file, I don't require that you submit another application, but when I'm looking at the transcript, if you have more than 24 credits or 24 or higher and a minimum GPA of a 3.3, I can consider you for a transfer scholarship. Again, nothing separate. You don't need another essay or letter of recommendation, anything like that. So it's all done at the time of admission. And we also offer Phi Theta Kappa scholarships. So if you see the opportunity to join PTK, you might get the emails for the Honor Society at CCRI. I definitely recommend it because it's an opportunity to receive even more financial assistance. And then some options to visit us. So this is a great website. So I do transfer chats. We have some virtual campus tours for now, individual counselor meetings if you want to set up a one-on-one with me. We'll have on-demand info sessions similar to what you have access to here, and then open houses and accepted student events in the spring. So we'll make this website available to you so you can go and check it out, but you could also access it from our main transfer page. Now, to end the slideshow, I do want to go into those websites as I mentioned before. So give me one moment as I pull that up because these are helpful resources, and I'll explain where to go, where to find them. So hopefully you are seeing the screen. The first one I would have you go to, and you can just type this in your search bar, is URI TES. So as I mentioned, we have a list of transferable courses that we've evaluated from the Community College of Rhode Island. So when you get in here, you're going to list it alphabetically. So you'll go to C, and CCRI is actually on the third page. We'll go to the Community College of Rhode Island, pull it up, and you're going to see it starts alphabetically. But all of the courses that you're taking at CCRI are available at CCRI and what their equivalent is at URI. So a great first resource to see how your class is actually transferred. Now, the second that I'll actually have you do is go to URI Transfer Admissions. Again, probably the easiest way to find it without clicking all around the website. And it's going to be the first link that pops up. So under this page, you'll find all the information that I shared with you. You can also click on your Meet Your Counselor link up here because this will allow you to schedule a one-on-one with me. But since we're talking about business programs, business ends up being one of our competitive programs. So they don't follow the general rule of thumb for transfer, and you actually have to have some prerequisites completed before that. And I should say what I was doing. I'm going to go back so you folks can see. So middle of the page, you'll see this competitive program requirements, the picture with a student doing some lab work. Then we're going to scroll down to College of Business. And now this is the page that was developed by the College of Business for admissions requirements. I'm going to be just focusing really quickly on here. And again, I can explain this to any student individually after the fact. But for business admission requirements, if you have less than 30 credits, you would need to have a minimum of a 3.0 GPA, meet the general admission requirements over here, and show some demonstrated quantitative and analytical skills. So meaning you're taking some math courses and maybe some intro to business courses. With 30 to 60 credits, you still need the minimum GPA of a 3.0. You have to have at least one of these required mathematics. So either calculus or QB1 and QB2, or business statistics. So again, something to be aware of. And also missing no more than one other course within these four. So you would have to have 3 out of the 4 here: macro, micro, financial, managerial accounting. Excuse me. And then if you have an associate's degree, you need a minimum of 2.7 GPA, and you'd have to have all these requirements completed. So again, you can reference this from our website, from the competitive program requirements. And these are the majors that students are eligible for business. We do have some closed majors, and those are finance, general business, and marketing. So the available majors are management, global business, supply chain management, innovation and entrepreneurship, and accounting. Now, we do have our data courses and our and economics, but they actually fall within the College of Arts and Sciences. So they follow the general transfer requirements. So they're right here, right next to the competitive program. And you see they're a little bit different. We're not going to require you to have certain prerequisites completed within those programs. It's more of the GPA and the amount of credits that you've actually taken. So if you have attempted fewer than 24 transferable credits, a minimum of a 2.8 GPA. If you have 24 credits and higher without an associate's degree, a 2.5. An associate's or bachelor's degree, a 2.4. Again, the while those majors kind of fall into the same idea of business at our university, they just don't fall within the same colleges. So the admissions requirements are a little bit different. But again, happy to share that and discuss with anyone that has questions along the way. Please feel free to reach out to me and we can discuss a little bit more. But I want to open it up for any questions, and thanks again to Jessica for allowing me to take the time to present to you folks.
Thank you very much, Victor. And if you have any questions going forward, you have the website address now to contact Victor and ask any questions about transfer to URI. And he also showed you some nice ways to get to the website and get that transfer and application process started. So I'd like to thank you again, Victor, for being with us today, and we'll see you again soon.
All right. Thanks, Jessica. Can we stay on for 1 second?
Yeah.